Hello, friends. My name is Michael Levine, and this is a show that we call Without Notes because I think the title sums up. It's a conversation. There is no notes. There is no agenda. Today's guest is a fascinating man, a political powerhouse, influential in Republican politics, conservative politics, and all politics in America. His name is Chris Ruddy. We're going to go on a very unusual and fascinating conversational adventure with him. Now, Mr. Ruddy agreed to do this, but he's doing it in a somewhat non-traditional way, in that he's on an airplane to Israel. Now, Mr. Ruddy has business activities all over the world, and he is on his way to Israel. He is the founder and moving force behind Newsmax. Newsmax, as I think some of the viewers may know, has a TV component that's doing extraordinarily well. In fact, is just going public. He also has a digital component to his empire and has a magazine. He is a man not to bet against. Betting against Chris Ruddy has been a bad bet for some time. So, with that, we're going to begin our conversation with Mr. Ruddy on an airplane going to Israel on the night after the first debate between President Donald Trump and President Joe Biden. I think you're going to find the conversation and the adventure interesting. There'll be some people in this viewing audience that will find it discomforting, but I always encourage my viewers to try to listen and see what can be learned, even if you differ. Yeah, Chris Ruddy is my partner for the expedition. So, Mr. Ruddy, welcome to Without Notes.
Well, if you call me Mr. Ruddy, I'm going to have to call you Mr. Levine. So let's just get into it. I'll call you Joe. You call me Donald. Okay.
All right. I'm going to call you Chris. Chris, we have known each other a while, but I'm very honored with you being here. I want to ask you, of course, you have this empire, this Newsmax empire. What are the plans for the TV component of Newsmax in the next 5 years? Is this going to be a competitor? It already is to Fox News. Tell us about your vision for Newsmax in the next 5 years. TV.
Well, I would say it's just a very general vision, which is to be big and to be everywhere. That's been sort of a Newsmax mantra for 25 years. We started as a digital media company in 1998. Newsmax.com became extremely popular, very influential, not just me saying it. Forbes magazine said it, the New York Times, others. And then in 2012 to 14, as I think you recall, we decided to start Newsmax TV. And at the time, people said, they're never going to let you on cable systems, forget about it. And we got on every cable system. They said we'd never get cable fees and be renewed. We're renewed on all systems. But we're a major force now. And, Nielsen ratings show that we're in over 20 million homes. We believe we reached 40 million through all our different platforms. Reuters just came on and said that Newsmax was one of the top 12 news brands in the United States offline for news. And so we're very excited about the fact that Reuters in their national survey found we're with CNN and Disney and New York Times and NBC and all the major players. And we're the only new media property to make that list. They say about 25 million Americans are watching Newsmax regularly, and they say that Newsmax is now getting a huge amount of the Fox audience, about 30%. So I think it's a big testament, not so much to me, but to our viewers out there, that the public really wants, they're hungry for something new and different and alternative to the liberal establishment.
Chris, what are you doing from your perspective right? What did you get right that others didn't see? Is it that they're looking for a conservative voice versus the traditional mainstream liberal mantra? Or is it that they are looking for an alternative to Fox? What did you get right, Chris?
Well, I think we understood the market. You know, the late Roger Ailes, who was a friend of mine, he was really the founder of Fox News. He used to say, I'm such a genius. Fox is so successful. I figured out I should offer news to people who represent half the United States that were not being served. And it was like like a genius light bulb went off. And he all of a sudden became super successful and became an amazing, amazing voice. The amazing thing is that, like in France, there's a TV channel, the conservative Newsmax Fox News version is CNews. It was started by a guy named Bolloré, a billionaire conservative. He took on the CNN of France, which was BFM channel. They are now the largest rated, CNews, the largest rated channel. I don't think it's genius. It's the fact the public, there's a huge market that the liberal establishment is so afraid of that half the country shouldn't be served. And so Newsmax is filling that gap, and there's not a lot of competition. Fox is there, but Fox is changing. Fox wants to become more infotainment. Fox is not really happy with its sort of conservative politics thing anymore. It's pretty clear. So that window is opening for us even wider.
So, Chris, what I think I hear you saying is that you're not that brilliant. It's that the liberal establishment, mainstream media, is that stupid. They militantly refuse to see
Look,
what anyone can plainly see.
look, if the greatest PR agent ever to come out of Hollywood wants to call me brilliant, I'm gonna say, go ahead, keep doing it, keep doing it. But I'm gonna give credit to the team I've had, to the millions and millions of viewers that are tuning in, that are fanatically supportive of Newsmax, because I think we put out a good product. We announced, as you know, we announced just over a week ago that we're planning to go public and become a public company later this year, early next year, with government approvals, and we've had a tremendous reaction to it. My investment banker, that's been doing this for over a decade, says that he's never seen the reaction to a potential stock offering and the pre-IPO shares that he's ever seen before.
So last night was a momentous event in American politics, the first debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And I think the general feeling, rather universal feeling, is that President Biden had a very, very difficult night, and that Donald Trump had a less difficult night. Now, of course, I understand, Chris, and the audience should as well. You have been friends with Donald Trump for a very, very long time. I don't know your relationship with President Biden, but can you give us your assessment of what happened last night?
First of all, I agree with your sentiment. It was good for Donald Trump and bad for Joe Biden. It's really not unexpected, right? Because Trump is an incredible communicator. He's been doing this all his life, and he just knows how to do it super well. He rarely does much prep. Joe Biden's not a great communicator, never was. Even in his younger days, he even admitted, I think, that he had a slurring problem or one of those voice problems.
Stuttering,
So
stuttering
problem. There you go. So he's never been that articulate, and so expectations were low, but I think he went even lower than low. And so you know, the media's been giving so much spin for a long time that everything is just like edited, and you're really not getting the real vibe. We're seeing the real, and he's declining pretty rapidly. I think it's clear he was a lot stronger a year ago. He was even more stronger 2 years ago. It's getting worse. So I don't think the optics look very good. I did speak to the president, President Trump, earlier this week, and he asked me off the cuff. He said, "What do you think how my approach should be with Biden?" I said, "Well, I don't really get in the weeds on that too much, but I think it would be good if you talked about your record and he talked about his, because you know what? I think your record is outstanding and it's stronger than his record, and avoids all the personal issues, the back and forths, and actually, we had a pretty good discussion of the records. I think Trump was very good in articulating what his record was. Joe
What
Biden.
about the importance of his record on immigration, Chris?
Well, Donald Trump secured the border as best one can do that wide border. And then Joe Biden has had, he didn't explain, never really responded. Trump kept repeating, this is crazy. The border's open and millions. Trump quoted 14 million, I heard 10 million, 11 million. People just can come over from all over the world. And there's no vetting. I mean, you and I go through the airport to get on a plane, and we practically take off our underwear to get in there to see what's going on, right? Like the security checks are immense, and anybody can walk across the border and become in the country and join a terrorist cell. I mean, it does sound insane. It does sound crazy, and the public's not buying what they're doing. And Biden seems to be on a crazed mission here. Some of Biden's policies are not bad. You know, I've agreed with his support of Ukraine. I think it's been generally positive, although he's slow off the weapons and has prolonged this thing. And in Israel, we're seeing again, he didn't really have good answers yet. He even admitted in the debate that he was holding back weapons to the Israelis, who are in a brutal struggle with Hamas. These are not nice people. And you're holding up weapons, and Biden's saying, I think, is being really fueled by domestic politics because he doesn't want an escalation before the election.
Chris, prophecy is dubious business, but given what you saw last night, do you think there's a plausible way for Joe Biden to be the Democratic nominee and go all the way through November against Donald Trump?
I think that it's very plausible because Biden is a very stubborn old guy, and he apparently is not easily convinced that he should not run. Doesn't think anyone else can beat Trump, from what I hear. And I'm not sure, you know, the presidency's got a lot of power, inherent power. We saw that John Fetterman could barely speak. He had a stroke and he couldn't debate Dr. Oz, couldn't even articulate. And he still beat Dr. Oz by 3 points in the state of Pennsylvania. Oz thought he was going to win that. So the Democrats' tolerance for people that have no ability, I'm not, but it's, you know, middle voters, and let's see what happens. They say Hispanics and blacks, they're not buying this. I think, you know, and the reason they did this, I believe, the early debate, which is unprecedented before a convention, is because they wanted to see if Biden could actually do it. And they could remove him before the convention. We're at the convention, they still have time. The other thing is if he stumbled, which he has, that he has a lot of time to recover. He has 4 months. People will forget in 3 months, in 2 months. Memories are very short in politics and in America. So I think for the moment, Biden's down. I wouldn't count him out. The country is basically demographically a Democratic country, and the demographics all favor pretty much Democrats, not Republicans. And we need to be cognizant of this fact, and that's why Trump is still always behind, always going to be behind demographically to Biden.
Let's talk about Newsmax. You have pursued a strategy, I believe, Chris, and you can correct me here if I'm wrong, of trying to create a very substantial, generally conservative, center-right TV platform with great success. But you have not seemed to go after the big star names or create the big star names. Now you do have Greta Van Susteren, who's well known, and but talk about your strategy regarding that.
Well, look, I don't want to redo Fox. Fox is Fox. Let them do their thing. I think there needs to be more voices. You know, the liberal establishments for diversity, except when it comes to diversity of opinion and views and news information. And I think the country is big enough. We have 25 million viewers. They're tuning in. I think it could easily be 50 million. And it's going to continue to grow because the public wants our news. And I think we have a great lineup. And I really look for really good journalists. I don't look for people with a political agenda. Greta Van Susteren leads our nightly. She's a renowned journalist. She's great.
Yeah, I think we're going to let you go. Go to Israel and be healthy. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I think.
Well, I'm sorry about all the interference, but I would mention my little 60-second commercial. People that are interested in joining with Newsmax, finding out about our IPO coming out and the pre-IPO where they could actually buy shares with a credit card. That's all online now at newsmaxinvest.com, newsmaxinvest.com. You'll see what everybody's saying about this on that page. It's pretty amazing, and read everything there before you make a decision, but check it out.
Hi, friends. Michael Levine again here with Without Notes. That was one of the most unusual adventures we've had over the last 9 years, recording an interview with a very powerful man on an airplane to Israel with all of the optics and live adventure that includes. But I thought the conversation with Chris Ruddy was important, and I think it particularly important given it being done less than 24 hours after the first presidential debate between President Joe Biden, and former President Donald Trump. So the timing was just one that I didn't think we could pass up. Yes, the conversation was shorter than normal, but I still think deeply impactful. As Chris indicated, Newsmax is going public next year. I've known Chris a long time. He's a straight shooter and a powerful and influential man in the American political scene. So I want to thank you for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Without Notes.